Our next story is about a Northland woman who's changing attitudes. She's highly intelligent, she's a hard-working legal executive, she's a mother and a passionate advocate of disabled people's rights, and she's certainly sorted out the parking in Whangarei.
If you bring a disabled person to the fore and let them speak their story, it is so much more telling for the other people hearing that. So when I stand up and speak before council, it gets results.
Vanessa McGoldrick is shaking up Northland. Since her return from abroad, this busy working mum has helped transform Whangarei into one of the more accessible cities in the country.
Well, you do. Do you want to get a spoon? And what about a plate?
Vanessa's lived with disability all her life. At home, she's figured out a range of strategies to make life easier. It was out in the community that she became frustrated by the lack of consideration.
I have Nail-Patella syndrome. It's a condition where I have no kneecaps in my knees and I don't have any quadricep muscles in my thighs.
Grab your bags.
Until recently, Vanessa used a wheelchair. As her health improved, she got stuck into a range of committees and local projects.
I'm involved in a number of other disabled organisations. One of them is to do with housing, and I'm very passionate about that, to see that disabled people can access accessible housing. And I'm also involved in CCS at a national board level. I'm involved on the DSRG, and I am chairperson for Writing for the Disabled.
She's a logical thinker who's produced practical results. Like this mobility car park. Once a 15-minute park, now you can stay here for 3 hours. So I believe this is where it all started.
It sure is, Tanya. I was parked on this spot about 3 years ago, put up my disabled sticker, went into the optometrist just round the corner, came back to my vehicle and found a ticket. I looked at my ticket and I thought, that can't be right, I'm parked on a disabled spot. But when I looked up at the disabled sticker up there, it said 15 minutes only. And I thought, that is just crazy. So I wrote into the council and I said to them, look, I've been parked here and I've got this ticket, surely it's a mistake. They wrote back and they said, pay the ticket. And that was probably the beginning of my journey for fighting for better car parking for disabled people in Whangarei, because I didn't believe that it was fair to be charging people and basically making money out of the disabled community.
Next, Vanessa convinced the council to introduce a scheme they use in London. Basically, if you work and have a disability, you can apply for one of these permits and park all day for free. That's one less hassle to worry about. Need one of these back in Auckland. When we met, Vanessa's attention was on this newly renovated Aquatic Centre.
6 months ago, this Aquatic Centre opened with great facilities for people with disabilities. There's a warm hydrotherapy pool, great big changing rooms, a ramp, and even one of these chairs you can wheel straight into the water. There's just one problem.
It's back out here, in the car park. The mobility park is a lengthy walk from the front door, even though there's plenty of land to put one closer.
See, we've got this great big expanse of land here, and you would have thought when they first did the development, priority would have been given to car parking for disabled people being in this area, so it's nice and close to the front entrance.
No need for me to interview the council. Vanessa's got that in hand.
Just wanted to find out where the council was with the aquatic parking issue for disabled people.
Yes, we know it's not ideal, and the plans are to have accessible car parking much closer to the entrance. It's one of those projects that unfortunately got delayed.
Despite that gripe, the council does get full marks for this facility, now designed to cater to a wide range of disabilities. Vanessa's a legal executive.
This is where I work.
Despite her impressive qualifications and overseas experience, she found it hard to get a job when she returned to Whangarei.
Probably the biggest barrier to employment I have had is in terms of physical access to buildings. And when I returned to Whangarei, it was sort of disappointing to realise that over 50% of the solicitors that I could work for, I couldn't work for because I couldn't access their buildings.
Throughout your career, has your disability ever become an issue?
In some ways, but more in practical terms than in terms of qualifications, because I took that teacher's advice and I did take every qualification you could. And because I had those high qualifications, it opened the doors to a lot of employment that I otherwise wouldn't have had.
I suppose what keeps me motivated most is the thought that disabled people deserve the same things that everybody else takes for granted. I want them to be able to have the same employment opportunities, the ability to be able to park and go shopping and just enjoy life like everybody else does. I kind of have been really passionate about changing things here in Whangarei to start with, but it's become increasingly obvious that although we've got it really quite good in Whangarei in comparison to the rest of the country needs those things as well. I'd love to have the Minister for Disabled Affairs job. I'd like to be up in a position where I can change things on a national level.